Hey guys, it's Emma. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Today, my friend Inez and I are going to be telling you guys all the stuff we wish we knew going into freshman year.
Hi, yeah.
A little bit of context, Inez and I met the first week of freshman year, so we basically experienced the whole year together with us and our roommates, and we're all living together next year. First up, we're going to talk about academics.
Honestly, I feel like everyone says this, but procrastination is not good, especially because we have so many events happening. For second semester, it was a lot more busy. Once you're in a sorority, you're going to be busy 24/7. You need to focus on what times you can allocate towards school. College is fun, but school is still important.
If you didn't have to study in high school, you're definitely still going to have to study in college. I was the kind of person, I never ever studied in high school and I was perfectly fine. But now I really had to learn how to study, or else you won't do well on exams here.
Put your energy into all your classes, especially if you're going to Bentley, because every class is different in the business world. There's so many different aspects that you can pick as your major, and like you never know what you're gonna like.
Right now, I'm thinking of majoring in digital marketing with a minor in public relations and then another minor in something else, but I'm not sure yet.
I think I'm gonna major in marketing and definitely minoring either in CS or in management.
One of my biggest things is if you have the option to make your schedule, do not give yourself times that like won't work for you. I know I'm not a morning person, so I haven't taken an 8 a.m. since I've been here. Like, don't screw yourself over. I think that you're gonna be an entirely different person when you get to college, because you're not. And also definitely use Rate My Professor like religiously. You want to hear from previous students that took that professor.
Hey, Lauren, it's just your eyes.
Now moving on to social life.
I mean, obviously everyone's wondering about the party scene. It really varies at colleges, especially at Bentley. I feel like a specific like portion of students go out. Since the school is like relatively small, like you're gonna know people early on, like you're gonna start recognizing people. First semester freshman year, it's very different than if you choose to join Greek life.
You get exposed to a whole different group if you end up rushing, which is really nice because you meet so many new people.
Don't be afraid to ask around like what's going on. And in the beginning of the year, it's a little slow, like as people are coming in. If you think like, oh, this is boring and lame, like trust me, everything gets better. Like everything just changes, especially when you know people. Like it really is just like all about like making friends and like talking to people you don't know and like stepping out of your comfort zone.
Freshmen move on campus before anyone else, so before that people just hang out in dorms to get to know each other first, and then when more upperclassmen move on campus, you go to other places and get to meet older kids. I feel like the first weekend of freshman year is just like so chaotic. Say yes to everything, go to everything to meet people, because you'll never know who your friends are gonna be.
We got lucky
randomly.
Basically.
Yeah,
a lot of
each
people
other through a girl.
Yeah. A lot of people don't have the same friends as they make the first week of school, and like just know that like you're gonna find people that you like don't like and find people that you do like. So just talk to everyone basically.
In terms of like events and stuff here, I think there's always stuff going on. Personally, I don't know how many we've actually gone to, but more at the beginning of freshman year, there's always activity fairs and stuff that you can go to sign up for clubs and other activities to join. That's a great way to meet people outside of like Greek life or anything else. Obviously, if you're on any sort of team coming here, those are like built-in friends. You're probably gonna make some of your best friends just from that team. There's also a lot of recreational sports, so even if you didn't get recruited to Bentley or to another school, I'm sure other schools have the same thing, but you can join recreational or club teams to have a fun way to play that sport that you like and also meet other people.
Also, clubs are not very serious, so even if you sign up for a club at the activities fair, you do not have to go if you change your mind.
In terms of sport games, every school is different. Obviously, if you go to like a D1 football school, you're going to be going to tailgates and football games and stuff. The only D1 athletics team at Bentley is the hockey team, so I think that the games for those are probably bigger. We've been to a couple football games, which were fun, like the homecoming weekend was probably the best one, or like orientation weekend, there's a football game.
Yeah, I like to think that the hockey games are kind of like our form of like football, like because it's D1 and like it's just more exciting, more people show up. Specific to our school that we just like prefer hockey. It's debatable, but I prefer personally hockey over football at our school because it's just more like intense and exciting.
That's kind of first semester before anyone joins Greek life or anything. That's when you're really focused on going to like the sport houses, sports games, and obviously you continue with those activities once you join or if you join, but then it adds a whole nother layer if you do decide to rush. Now moving on to sororities and rushing. So at Bentley specifically, as freshmen, you have to wait until the spring to rush, both frats and sororities, and I feel like that changes a lot socially. There's 7 frats and 4 sororities because there's more guys than girls on this campus, which makes sense. 6 of our friends out of 7 of us ended up rushing. 4 of us went Phi Sig and 2 of us went AFE. It was definitely an interesting weekend. I have a whole vlog about it if you guys are curious to see some of the more behind the scenes stuff. It was definitely a long weekend, but it was fun because you get to talk to so many girls in every single sorority.
I actually had a really good time rushing in like the actual recruitment process. I talked to girls that I had met last semester, but I also talked to girls that I've literally never met before, and now we like still talk and we say hi, and like it's just really fun to like meet girls. And though you're not in the same sorority as some girls that you talk to, obviously they will still like be friendly with you, and like they'll still be someone that you can like actually talk to, because it's like it's a great way to meet people even if you don't end up in any sorority at all. My advice would be just go through it. Like you can totally drop.
Yeah, and I think if you have any sort of interest in it, to just like try it out, and as Inez said, you can drop. That happened a lot with my Rho Gamma group, I feel like, which is like the group you get put in.
There's also business frats that you can join. It's similar. It's like co-ed fraternities basically. Oh, I don't know if you you've seen, you definitely have about like all the big schools and how rush is such a stressful thing and people get dropped consistently, everything. That is not the case here. It's a smaller school and it's much easier and more comfortable. Like everyone is pretty much welcome to join at least one sorority, and you're gonna end up where you're meant to be, and everything happens for a reason.
I feel like everyone puts so much pressure on going in maybe with one in mind and then thinking if they get dropped from that one, like everything is over. But there are genuinely sweet girls in every single sorority here.
The biggest tip I can give pre-rush is if you're actually like seriously considering rushing, don't be afraid to talk to older girls. They're so welcoming, wanting to talk to you. Like don't like be scared of anyone that's older. Like if you see someone at a party or on campus, whatever, in one of your classes, literally don't be afraid to talk to them, because I'm guarantee you they're probably gonna be nice and like welcoming and tell you about like rush and whatever.
And definitely make an effort to go to events first semester and then the beginning part of second semester. All the sororities will host things so that you can get to know the girls in them, kind of gauge the vibe before you even step into rush. Like Inez said, rushing here is just very different than from bigger schools. I know down south some of them it's like a week-long thing. Here it's a weekend. There's 3 rounds. First is sisterhood, then philanthropy, then pref round. And then each round you drop a sorority, and since there's only 4, that's why there's 3 rounds. And then at the end you kind of rank your top 2 and you can decide if you'd be happy in either one. You can just do either one.
Or you could only rank one sorority and not do a second choice if you really are certain that you don't want to join the other one that you were put in for prep. Not a lot of girls do this, but some girls do this, and it's a little bit tricky because you could potentially still be dropped from the sorority that you put only like on your Maraba. It's tricky, but if you really are certain, then it's something that is an option for you.
It's a lot to kind of decide all at once, and I remember the night of rank, like final rank, was kind of stressful. There's girls called Rho Gammas who disaffiliate from their sororities, from all different sororities, so it's not like there's really one influence swaying everyone. But usually you'll get in a group of like 10 to 15 girls who are rushing with like 2 Rho Gammas, and they're kind of leading you through the process. They'll tell you where the next place to go is. They'll give you back your rankings every day and kind of tell you like, oh, this is what you're supposed to wear, this is what you're supposed to bring, and they're supposed to be like your guides throughout the whole process.
And that applies to most schools. Like most schools have like these guides that'll help you. Another tip that I wanted to give, especially first semester, don't be swayed by your friends and don't just choose a sorority during rush because all your friends are joining that. I have one of my good friends, our whole friend group basically from first semester went one sorority and she chose to go the other sorority. Now she's in my sorority, and it was a hard decision, especially since like you're stepping out of your comfort zone. It's definitely not comfortable to do that, to stay away from your friends, and she never regretted it. Like it's just something that you just go with your gut, you know?
With our experience changing since being in Phi Sig, me personally, I've just enjoyed the semester so much more since joining a sorority, because you just have your friends from first semester and everyone else that you knew, but then additionally you have this whole community of girls who wants to be there for you. I feel like since joining, I walk around and I see someone like consistently every time I leave my room, which is like just really nice to have familiar faces and just to be able to say hi to everyone and see everyone on the daily. And then going to sisterhood events and things, it's just little fun activities to do and ways to get to know all the girls even better.
Oh my god, she's in a split. She's literally in a split.
One of our sisterhood events like 2 weeks ago was making these little bears with everyone, so now we all have matching Phi Sig bears in our dorm. I just made one for my little today. So
Future little.
I don't
if
have
you're
a
watching
yet.
this.
That's so weird.
Hi, my future little, if you're watching this also. So with joining sorority, there's also this thing, it's like a big and a little, and when you join a sorority, you always receive a big sister who's basically like a mentor type of person that you can have, and it's usually a person in the grade older than you, and it's just a person who's like there for you and will definitely want to be your friend. You also get a family line, so it's like they're big and then their big's big, stuff like that, and it's just so fun.
And then there's like a process where you rank potential bigs and they rank you, and they try to match everyone up to the best of their ability. And I feel like, as Inez said, everything ends up working out well, no matter like if that was your first choice big or not. Like you're gonna end up loving them, you're gonna end up getting to know them and really like realizing that they were the right fit for you. And I know so many girls get so close with their big, and it's like really kind of a built-in best friend.
It's so nice having like a sense of like an older sister, especially me. I've never had any siblings, so it was kind of cool to have an older sister like figure.
This is more Bentley specific, but touching on food and living situations, there's 4 potential places that you could live. Trees, which is where the majority of freshmen live, Slade, which is where we live, Miller, and then sometimes you get put in Kresge, which is technically sophomore housing, but Bentley's class sizes have been increasing over the years, so then they've been putting some freshmen into sophomore housing. So if you get Kresge, very lucky, because that is a suite style, so it's 2 doubles and then a shared living room, common room area, and then a bathroom. All the others are a combination of singles, doubles, triples, and quads, but you have a communal bathroom on the floor that you share. If you're really stressed about that coming into college, like really don't be. I was, because I thought I'd never be able to adjust to sharing a bathroom with everyone on my floor, but it's really not that bad.
It's not that bad.
Like they clean them every single morning. It's so nice. I actually appreciate the fact that it's being cleaned because next year we're gonna have to clean our own bathrooms. Know that you only have to do that for 1 year, and then the rest of your years you have your own private bathroom. Trees is known to have like a bad reputation of like housing, but honestly, I don't think it's bad. Like really don't be stressed, because at the end of the day it's all freshman housing, but you're gonna get to know like the people on your floor and your roommate, and then it won't really matter as much.
Yeah, you'll be fine if you're in trees.
Touching on the food, which is something I was like really nervous about, I honestly don't think it's that bad. I am the pickiest eater like ever, and I still have been able to find many options that I actually do really like. I just feel like you need to know your preferences and kind of test out a good amount of stuff, and then you'll find things here. Expect like, yeah, exactly. On campus, the main dining hall is Seasons. It's actually called the 921, but like no one calls it that ever.
Yeah, call it Seasons
when
you come here. Yeah. One of my favorites on campus is this place called Natural. It's right above Seasons, and it closes so early, and I just feel like I wish I want it all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Also, Seasons closes at 8, which is like when I was home, I would have dinner at 8 sometimes.
Yeah. There's also in that same building, as Anna said, Natural above it, there's a Dunkin' Donuts, which is just like off campus dining basically, because like you have to spend real money on it. But that's the only thing on campus that you have to spend real money on. And then there's also in that same building Harry's Pub, which is like this place that's open super late.
It opens at 7. I think it closes at 11:30 on weekdays, and then on Friday it closes at like 1 or 2.
So it's open very late. They have like chicken fingers and french fries, like fried mac and cheese balls, like stuff like that. On upper there's Einstein's Bagels, which is like really good.
Super
like
good.
Coffee, bagels, sandwiches, things like that. Also on upper is Le Cava Cafe, which is like one of the best places to eat on campus by far. Like the food is significantly better than Season. Lastly, there's Corrido, which is on way lower campus by the gym, and that's basically off-brand Chipotle. Like Bentley
it's super
Chipotle,
good though.
but it is really good. And then aside from the food, I think one of just the biggest adjustments is having a roommate. That obviously will depend on who you have as your roommate, and like by the time you're watching this, you probably have already committed to roommate with someone. If you haven't, I feel like the biggest thing to check is like compatibility levels as roommates before as friends, because it's more important to be able to coexist and live with someone, and you can find other friends other than them, and you guys don't have to be best friends, but like general respect and boundaries you guys have to like agree on, of like how clean the room is, like what time you guys want to go to bed, how often you're gonna go out, versus like do you want to allow people to come back in your room.
Don't be afraid to speak up, like especially if a lot of people are in your room and you need to study, stuff like that. It can be hard sometimes to like be like, oh, I actually want to go to bed now, but people are still in my room, or like just talk to your roommate personally. Just don't be afraid to like have boundaries, because college is like, it's hard to get away from people and like be in your own personal space. So that's something that you really need to like put first. And even if it might like, people might be like, oh that's annoying, it's like that's what's important.
Yeah, and you're also paying so much money to live here that this space is your own as well, and you deserve to enjoy it just as much as your roommate does. I've never had to do this, but you know the RAs are a resource to like communicate problems. I've never had to go to my RA.
I've utilized my RA for neighbors. Sometimes neighbors can be loud, or upstairs neighbors. Emma lives on the 4th floor, but I live on the 2nd floor, so I have an upstairs neighbor, and they're particularly loud sometimes, but it's just easy. Like you just go to the RA and you don't even have to talk to them.
So definitely utilize that if you have any sort of problems or roommate like issues that you can't solve yourself. That pretty much is all of it. If you have any additional questions and are going to Bentley, feel free to DM me
or me.
Yeah, or comment down below, and like we can like reply to them honestly, whether it's a different college or Bentley. Just like don't stress about your freshman year. It's supposed to be one of the most fun years, and like all the worries that you have are going to be gone within the first week of school. Like I can promise you. I was really nervous going in, and it ended up being such a fun year. It just flies by, so like please enjoy it.